should be going live here shortly. Oh no, we're live right now. Didn't even realize that. Hello, loyal viewers. Welcome to another exciting episode of Saturday Night Spoilers. I'm your host, Trevor, and joining me yet again is Casey, the Illusionist. You might notice that something's a little off tonight. We are missing Johnny 5. He is stepping away for a little bit to focus on some at-home things. Another stream that might be coming on here really soon, so watch for that. It'll be a fun one. He's going to be reviewing a whole bunch of horror comic books. Your Dracula, your Monsters by Night, all those horror, Midnight Suns things. But we are joined by two extra special guests, Howard and Raj from The Big Bang Theory. So welcome, you two. Hopefully you enjoyed the book more than I did. A little bit of a spoiler there on our spoiler. So come check that out too. They're just hanging out over by the bathrooms, loitering there, waiting for somebody to scoop them up and give them a home. Tonight's book, though, is Doctor Strange #1. All we have left are these two variant covers of America Chavez for Marvel Icons, the Icons variant. Your main cover was an Alex Ross cover, though. I will give some credits real quick to our...
Where's the main?
There is no...
Oh, there's no cover picture thing?
So it's a Dynamite thing.
Well, ain't that just disappointing? Oh, well.
It is what it is. So, I say we dive into it.
All right.
Alien #1. Find out what lurks beneath the ice in April of 2023. That looks like a pretty cool book. Looks like they're getting a new creative team on it too, so hopefully that's got a good story. But to start off the book, I'm alive. My enemies vanquished. My love returned to me, or rather I to her. There's a bit of a PG-13 panel. Life, victory, love, all the things a man could want have been granted to me.
Just making sure we can see the comments. Sorry.
But there's a price for all of these things, one which I pay gladly. Duty. The work never ends, and so I return to work. The doctor is in the Sanctum Sanctorium on 177A Bleecker Street, Greenwich Village, New York. I should Google this sometime on Google Maps and see if I can go to the Sanctum Sanctorium.
There you go.
So previously in Doctor Strange, Dr. Stephen Strange was dead. In those months, much has happened. His wife, Clea, took up the mantle of Earth's Sorcerer Supreme. Refugees from different mystical dimensions now reside on Earth. The remnants of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s secret magic division called WAND went rogue until Clea took them down. Now Doctor Strange is back, and it's time to see what the world's been up to in his absence. The Life of Doctor Strange. Written by Jed MacKay, which he wrote Black Cat for those 2 volumes. If you've read those are some that I've really enjoyed. And a few other... He's done some big things, and he still is doing stuff right now. Is he doing Moon Knight currently?
Jed MacKay?
Yeah.
That I don't know.
I feel like he's doing Moon Knight currently. But writer Jed MacKay, artist Pascal Ferry, Matt Hollingsworth is colorist, VC's Corey Pettit does lettering, and Alex Ross did the main cover. We have the Marvel Icons cover with us today because we are sold out of all of the A covers. And all of the covers in general, actually. All we've got left are the 2 copies that you see before you on the screen. So, if you want them, you might want to stop in real soon and scoop them up while you can. Doctor Strange was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, so shout out to both of them, though they are no longer with us. But picking up where he left off, now that he's back at work, it requires one to dress the part. He's in his room right now talking to his wife. She is a consulting doctor. He goes, yes, darling, when you are confronted with illness, you go to the doctor to find out what's wrong and to be made well again. But when you're confronted with magic, then it is Doctor Strange who you consult. I have many colleagues. Costumed heroes and the like, they are brave, they are clever, but almost to a one, magic confounds them. It is not their world, Clea. Not like it is ours, and in my absence, magical dangers have only grown more bold and more dangerous. Now this is a panel down here that stumps me to read up to it. So you open your doors to those who require your aid. Didn't Moon Knight just do that? And he yells, divorce. Oh, now I get it. After reading it out loud, I get it.
Okay, you're going to have to clue me in.
Well, she's making a joke to him. She goes, so you've opened up to those who require your aid? Didn't Moon Knight just do that? And she's comparing him to Moon Knight, which must be a downgrade to him, so he's threatening divorce.
Okay.
Don't ever compare me to Moon Knight again. I read it over and over last time, like, divorce. it doesn't make sense. I'm reading the bubbles out of order. But no, he's just threatening divorce for that, which, I mean, it makes sense. I wouldn't want to be compared to Moon Knight either. He's out here talking to Spider-Man. He goes, I appreciate this, Doc. Not a lot of people want to talk to me right now. I'm sure Dan is joining us. And he's waving, not clapping. That's a waving. Well, hello, Dan. Thank you for joining us tonight. Glad to have you tuning in. We're reviewing Doctor Strange #1, written by Jed MacKay. It just came out this week. All we have left are the 2 copies in front of us with America Chavez. We could order more for you if you prefer an A cover. There's an Alex Ross cover, so it's pretty nice. He's talking to Spider-Man, and he's going around New York, talking to those around them. So, he's talking to Spider-Man. Well, I have been dead for a not insignificant amount of time, Peter. Allow me time to get caught up. Because, please don't. I don't understand that. Anyways. So, what can I help you with, Peter? He goes, oh yeah, right. So they go around, they're talking to a demon running a 3-card Mana game for souls out of... Oh, this is Spider-Man talking. Duh. I read this last night and I knew what was going on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of lost my brain today. So there's a demon running a 3-card Mana game for souls out in the Flatiron District that I was hoping you could help me out with. I might have lost my soul. Tuesday, he stops by the office of Mayor Luke Cage, asking what's been going on, and Luke goes, listen, the reason I called you, who's this warlord of Manhattan, which I'm not really caught up on that either, on what's going on with Doctor Strange's wife. He goes, oh yes, that would be my wife, Clea. He goes, of course it is. Well, now I've got elves and trolls and whatnots coming out of the woodwork, calling me false king and pretender to the throne. So if you wouldn't mind straightening out these supernatural weirdos, I would appreciate that. So he's got to go downtown, talk to all of the magical creatures that are living in New York now and explain to them that Luke Cage is their mayor and they do have to respect him. Wednesday, he has to attend to
Black Cat.
And I want to say he's taking inventory of what he's got. Excellent. I hadn't meant for the task to fall on you, Black Cat. But you've been doing an excellent job of taking care of the tasks that I charged Spider-Man with. She goes, yeah, no problem. He was going to do them, but then he was in the hospital. Now this whole thing... Or no, she was taking care of his entire estate. And he goes, well, I appreciate it. Can I offer you a service in return? She goes, well, since you've been gone, the Central Park Dragon and I have gotten pretty tight. Can I help feed it one last time? So he goes down to the Central Park to feed a dragon. Thursday, he goes and he talks to Doctor Doom. He goes, you're looking well, Stephen. It's good to see you again, old friend. He goes, friend, shall I chalk up your atrocious behavior at my home after my death to your grief then? He goes, I merely came for what was mine, the office of Sorcerer Supreme. Do not pretend that without your meddling, I would not have been do it. Incidentally, how did you provide Clea with... Ah, yes, Clea. You'll keep a civil tongue in your head when you speak to my wife. In the future, Victor. I can't read tonight, I'm tongue-tied. But that reminded me of Will Smith. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Oh yes, when you talk about my wife, keep a civil tongue. Or I will give you cause to regret it. Do you understand? Friday. And of course, telehealth is a burgeoning new field for doctors. So he's talking to Daredevil through his phone. He goes, yeah, there's a garbage monster down here. If you can do an exorcism, that'd be great. But if not, what else could you do? He goes, well, ordinarily I would fly to your aid. I'm already late to a peace summit between the Upper East Side Goblins and the Lower East Side Goblins, so hang on. He sends his wife down there to take care of it. And she is the warlord of Manhattan. Like I said, I don't know what's going on there, so I might have to read back to Strange. And Saturday is his day of rest. He's hanging out with his wife, eating some food. Alien food? I don't know. Whatever doctors eat. Sunday, of course, duty calls. He has to go to the alien refugees of the city of Kulamesh, which was formerly existing off the coast of Cornwall before its destruction, will be deported to Agamon's realm, the portion of the Purple Dimension located in the Gobi Desert. So they go down to the Cornwall refugee camp, and these people are being ushered into the Gobi Desert Purple Zone. And they go down there and tell them that they will no longer be going there, and they're going to go and seek refuge elsewhere. I don't remember where. I'm trying to paraphrase this because it's been such a long day and we're all tired and we'd probably like to get home. Bats prefer to receive visitors. Do look after them, will you? He's teleporting them to the Sanctum Sanctorium. So many went through, were already sent through that portal. Dr. Strange goes, well then, so too shall we go. We fly to rescue. No, we do not. Stephen, we're intruding on the domain of Agamon, of the Purple Dimension. We fly to war. And they fly down there and head straight to Agamon himself. Whose bidding do you do in invading my realm, Clea Strange? Your accursed mother Umar's, your damned uncle Dormammu's, or your foolish husband's? She goes, in the years to come, when I consider your charred skull upon my mantle, Agamon, I shall remember your attempts at bravado. The Kalameshi refugees, I will take possession of them now. He goes, you take possession of my slaves? You must be joking. She goes, do I appear to be a comedian? And Dr. Strange pulls up. Have done, Agamon. You are Sorcerer Supreme of the Purple Dimension, but I am Sorcerer Supreme of Earth. My wife is Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension. Do you really wish to test us? She goes, because I assure you, you will not find us wanting. Goes, to enter into a clash of Sorcerer Supreme over fish-smelling Kalushimis is beneath me. Release them. You do look well, Strange, surprisingly so. Stephen Strange, I mean. Do not think I've forgotten your role in my murder, Agamon. Goes, charge me with your murder then, Stephen Strange, for it would appear that the purposed victim is particularly hale and heartily standing before me. That's a callback to the Death of Doctor Strange limited series. I didn't read it, but in that series, obviously Doctor Strange dies and now he's back to life. I would assume you would find that in the Strange series that is out right now featuring his wife, which again I have not read, so I got to go back and read all of that to see what's going on here. Because I often forgive Agamon, but I rarely forget. And he goes, then remember this, Strange, both of you. And he strikes down one of his slaves. An object lesson. And his wife gets mad. I'll see you dead for that. He goes, Clea, our duty is to the living. We will bring Agamon to justice for his crimes, but we are surrounded by those we've sworn to protect. She goes, my husband shies away from killing Agamon, but I do not. And we shall see one another again, ever so soon. He goes, goodbye, Strange, and Doctor Strange as well. Please send a diplomatic request next time you wish to visit my sovereign territory. And she threatens him on her way out. Ever so soon, Agamon. She is mad, out for blood. And then back to the Sanctum Sanctorium. What is to be done about Agamon, Stephen? In good time, Clea. No, blood calls out for blood. He killed someone in front of us, and we allow it? Because I am as aware of that as you are. But it is not so simple as teleporting into his palace and assassinating him. She goes, but it is. He goes, please, this is my world. This isn't the Dark Dimension. She goes, then you had best think of how to make things in your world right, because I will not countenance an innocent life taken merely to make a point. He's doing some narration in his head. She's angry with me. I can't blame her. I am angry with myself. Clea's anger, her need for immediate and final justice burns in me as well. But we are of different worlds. It's like, oh, don't get me at that. Look. He's looking through the eye of Agamotto. They must be mad at him too. I am a doctor, not a warlord. Agumon will not go unpunished, but my first duty of care is to those who need me. Not as a warrior or assassin, not as a righteous blade of vengeance, but as a doctor. Here you go, Doctor Strange. Hello? She-Hulk here. Listen, I've got a situation. Whoa! Johnny 5 is tuning in and is with us via comment section. Oh, the anger! Get together, Stephen Strange. Whoa, I actually like his diplomatic view of things. I'm always one for peace before violence. Not that I'm opposed to violence, but I'm always one who's at it for peace before we go and start taking lives that need to be taken. Because yes, hello, Miss Walters. Yes, that certainly does sound like a demon. Is there the smell of brimstone? Rotten eggs, Miss Walters. Brimstone smells like rotten eggs. So if you ever smell rotten eggs in your fridge, you've either got some bad eggs or your fridge is possessed. And if the doctor's in, and I am, then ever does duty call. Early Monday morning, the throne room of Agumon. The Stranges, this insult will not stand once my plan is in motion. And he hears a noise. He goes, "Who is it? Who dares intrude upon the warlord of the purple dimension? Show yourself." Wait, you? Strange. He's blasted off his throne. Strange. Next, Dream Evil. There's a second story in here
Called Freak Out.
written by Jed McKay, Andy McDonald, and Ian Herring. Note to everybody out there, I know the story as well as you do, because I fell asleep while reading it. I mean, I set the book down, I turned off the light, and then I fell asleep. So I might have read the first couple pages. No? Nope. No, this is all Greek to me. I didn't read any of this. I read the main story, looked at the second story, and fell asleep. So, this is, whoa. I am going to go through it with y'all live on camera.
That's the part that we missed or something.
Spoiler alert to everybody, including us.
Sorry. Anyway, you can keep going. United Kingdom, Birmingham.
This guy's above Birmingham. In the United Kingdom, the Psycho Zeppelin of the freaky Dr. Z. Not a character I'm familiar with.
I was about to say, who's Dr. Z?
Not somebody I'm familiar with.
Okay.
I'm sure he's been here before, or maybe it's first appearance. I don't know.
Who?
Balloon's pretty trippy though.
Yep.
Finally, Oregon accumulators at full, storm clouds at peak. No, you're Dr. Z. Storm clouds at peak saturation. That's almost as good as moist.
I don't know if I want to agree with that because I haven't read the story, or at least this part. So I don't know who Dr. Z is. Do you know who Dr. Z is, Johnny?
Yes, Johnny. Please enlighten us on Dr. Z and his whimsical balloon. The freaky Dr. Z. Whoa. I would not like to see his browsing history.
Well, wait. I'm just kidding.
Johnny doesn't know. You don't know. Thank you for adding so much to the show, Johnny. You're the man.
Woo! Johnny the man. Johnny 5.
Hallucinogenerators. Ready?
We're in the next page? Oh, no, not yet.
No, we're still on the first page. You're getting ahead of me. Ready to charge the rainfall with psychoalchemicals? I can't read. Psychoalchemicals? I think these are made up words.
No.
That's a real word?
It's a real word. I just can't pronounce it.
We can't pronounce this word. Stephen Strange has returned to life. Clea has chosen to remain with him at the Sanctum. And I have decided to give them some much needed and well-deserved privacy.
I wonder if this is going to make reference to like what you said earlier, where it's like the agents of Wand have gone.
Oh.
Whatever. What was it?
Yeah, look. The agents of Wand. Right
yeah, that's why I'm saying this. Yeah, the agents of Wand went rogue. So.
Interesting. I need to catch up on Strange. I don't know if he's featured in it or not, but this just keeps getting more and more interesting here. I am flying a mobile consciousness-altering device, and it is time to freak Birmingham out. I love this guy. He is so cool. It's Some freak Birmingham. This is like some 60s hipster. Some hippie who's just never outgrew his hippiness. It's time to. No, no. But aside from that, there's still much to write in the world of magic since Stephen died, and everyone must do their part. And so I keep busy. So he might be a good guy? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. It's like, not you. That's right, Doc. It's Pandora, Peters, and Wong, agents of Wand. The Wizardry, Alchemy, Necromancy Department.
Well, if they said earlier in the story that the agents of Wand went rogue, why would Wong go rogue? That just seems kind of anti-Wong.
The only Wong that we know, though, is from the MCU.
True.
So we don't really know comic book Wong. Maybe Wong is different.
Maybe.
He might not be all that his movies have made him be. Auto nurses, get them! He is freaky. He's got nurses. Somebody has got a...
It's kind of like Austin Powers, but with magic.
Yeah. Agents of Wand. A bit of hyperbole on Pandora's part. Wand currently consists of just the two of us. But the fact remains, Pandora's list of problems left behind by the dissolution of Wand, such as the freaky Dr. Z, rivals that of Stephen's own list of duties to be taken up once again.
So, problems... Oh, never mind. Sorry, I just read that wrong. It almost seemed like it made it seem like Dr. Z was a part of Agents of Wand, but never mind, I read it wrong. So
actually, who is narrating? It must not be Dr. Z. It must be Wong doing the mental narration.
Well, it's either Wong or Pandora.
No, he was referencing Pandora.
Okay.
First, let's give a call out to Carnage Reigns. Cletus Cassidy versus Miles Morales. The hunt is on. It really sounds pretty cool. Whether or not I'll pick it up remains to be seen, but it sounds cool. There's the oversaturation of, and I was talking to Johnny 5 about this earlier, is I don't want to pick it up because of how much symbiote we have been getting lately. And they just keep pumping it out there. I love symbiotes. They used to be this cool species. Cool characters that you just don't see very often. And when they popped up, it was huge, like Absolute Carnage, King in Black. Extreme Carnage was starting to hit that downward slope. It's still a fun read. But now, I mean, Carnage Reigns? We'll see. Maybe I'll pick up Carnage Reigns Alpha. It's got a Stegman cover. I like his work.
Too much symbiote. Need to let them recharge.
Too much symbiote. Need to let them recharge. I couldn't agree more, Johnny. Give us a couple years without them. Then you can bring them back in a whole new light.
Yeah, but you got to keep up with the movies, you know.
Well, do we have a symbiote movie coming out this year?
No.
I didn't think so.
But since they added the one symbiote at the end of Carnage, with the one with the blue eyes,
yeah.
I'm sure there's probably plans for the next one, especially since Venom went back to his universe at the end of Avengers.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be plans for one. I like it. I enjoy the movies. Always been a Venom fan. Uh-oh. One. The hallucinogenerators are leaking. Oh. It's like, nope. Just take that, Agents of Wand. All that time you had me in prison, I was planning this. I'm going to open every mind in Birmingham, starting with you two fascists. Z, I think I saw a spoiler that Mike Trout gets taken over by a symbiote. So he's a Mike Trout's baseball?
Yes.
So does his baseball bat come out of his arm?
Possibly no, if he's a symbiote.
That would be so cool.
Wouldn't have to worry about it breaking then.
So, and if his symbiote was like a part of like Carnage or something, like a son of somebody, maybe his symbiote's name would be Trout. Who are you? My name's Trout. You believe that you can raise up... I thought I saw another comment pop up. I guess not.
Nope.
Okay. You believe that you can raise up humanity with your psychedelic alchemy, but to forcefully open the third eyes of 1 million people will cause untold death and destruction. It's like, I can't get a beat on him. Oh, she's got a wand. I was like, I think that's her finger extending out of her body.
No, that's her wand.
That's a wand. She must be a magician. Another character I'm not familiar with, but I can probably guarantee Johnny will end up coming across in his dark magical journeys.
Pandora, what was it?
Pandora is just her name.
Pandora Peters.
Pandora Peters, there was a last name. Yes. I've spent my whole life around magic, Dr. Z, and I believe that your ideas are right. There is much that humanity has to gain by wider recognition of the magical world, by the expansion of consciousness. Great strides could be made toward peace, unity, and empathy, but not like this. People must be given the choice. People must be offered such an opportunity in safety, not while driving down the motorway. Not everyone has the training I have had since birth. I'm shaking off your hallucinations. I can and will stop your plot, Dr. Z, but how I do it is up to you. Because I don't understand. You're just going to hit me and put me back in prison. Because I could. And if I did hit you, you would never forget it. But that is the old wand, and I want to represent the new wand. An organization dedicated to bettering humanity. A goal you share, whatever your methods. So instead of violence and destruction, why not become the third agent of Wand? That's a plot twist.
Right?
Shortly, Wand Mobile Headquarters, Athena. They've repurposed his ship, or they have their own? I don't know.
Well, they didn't repurpose his ship because his was a blimp. This is an actual boat.
This is a boat.
Peter Pan.
Well, I didn't expect that. Neither did we. I like that. It's very true.
Right.
Really? Recruiting the freaky Dr. Z? Why not? His aims are interesting and ultimately noble. I told you when I joined you, I'm not interested in Wand's old goal of preserving the status quo. All that accomplished was putting you and I at loggerheads. I need us to make the world better. The freaky Dr. Z and Wand joining forces at last. All that time we spent together one another. All the time we spent fighting one another. So much energy wasted when we could have been working together. Sorry, dog, that's my crystal ball ringing. You hear this beeping sound. Talk about saved by the bell. Weird, that's the ID code of an informant I placed in Agamon's palace and in his Gobi Desert territory. I wonder what they have to show me. Oh. Well, this is going to cause some drama. Agamon lays dead. Blood spilling out of his body. His head clean off his body. Not the end. Dr. Strange, number 2. An unending, sleeping sickness has struck the children of Bleecker Street. There can only be one culprit behind this attack. It's up to Dr. Strange and Clea to travel into the dream dimension to confront their old foe Nightmare. But all is not what it seems. And what they discover will shock them.
Shout out to Inferno Squad.
Inferno Squad and, final page, Before They Fall, X-Men. Sons of X, Cy Springer and Phil Noto. The battle of the Titans of the X-Universe. Cracks form in the foundations of Krakoa. It's about time.
And Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever official playlist.
Woohoo!
That. Everything of X.
Fine.
I'm just saying that's our volume.
You're a volume.
I have too much volume. I'm fat.
Everything of X. John Runyon.
We know, Johnny, you love the X-Men universe. They started out fun for me, but I kind of fell off that X-Men bandwagon. Sticking on for Wolverine and enjoying the Sins of Sinister stuff. Both of them very good. I'm looking forward to more. But that was Doctor Strange issue 1. What a read.
Well, it's always nice to have a return of a character that comes back from the dead and it not be a zombie.
Not be a zombie. That's what I don't like is the return of characters because they die and they come back. I mean, case in point, X-Men, they die and they are literally reborn 2 pages later.
True.
But when a character dies, especially if you want to replace them, like replace Doctor Strange with his wife, Clea Strange, just leave him dead. Especially not bringing him back like a year later. Leave him dead for a good 5 years. 3 years. A little bit of time, so you've at least given your character more than 5 issues to get a beat on how people feel about it. But instead it's like, oh, we're 12 issues in, nobody likes her. Well, let's bring him back. It's only been a year. But the book itself, that was something else. I've never actually read a Doctor Strange book before. I read some of the old Defender stuff, and he was a member of the Defenders, so I know who Doctor Strange is. I've seen the movies he's been in, but I've never actually read a book. And we've talked about internal voices in the past. Doctor Strange is not tongue-tied. Benedict Cumberbatch. That is not the voice I used.
What'd you use?
Some old school British voice. Not Alfred has a different voice. Alfred's British too.
Right.
But this is not Alfred's voice. It's a different British voice. He words things different. It's not something I'm used to. Well, thanks for eating in front of me. How rude.
You read yours earlier.
No, I ate one earlier. Shout out to Amanda for the cupcakes.
Woo!
They are delicious. Super good. But would you like to start with your review on it? Or should I do mine?
Start with yours.
Your mouth's full. I thought you said Doctor Strange sounded more like Casey. No.
I have a British accent.
Yes, Casey has a British accent. Well, there. Good day, sir.
Is it the same British accent that Dick Van Dyke had in Mary Poppins? You know, that strong, strange.
Strange is the word for it.
Yorkish.
Crushed it. We crushed the accent. Crushed it like a Snorlax. Whoa. Shout out to Pokemon. No, Doctor Strange was a different read. Like I said, I've never read a Doctor Strange book before. I don't really know how I feel about it. Doctor Strange has taken on callback to Scarlet Witch for anybody who remembers that review. I'm sure Johnny 5 does. If not, then I don't know. You might not want to drink so many beers while gaming at night. No. But if you call back to the Scarlet Witch, she's done the same thing. She's moved away from the superheroing aspect of her life and is going down to helping these smaller people. She's got a library where she's helping people. He's got a sanctum where he's just helping people.
Kind of the opposite of what Spider-Man did in the MCU, where he was that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but then all of a sudden just wanted to be this big show.
Yep. Which, I mean, that's to be expected from a teenager.
Right.
Hey, look, I got spider powers. I gotta be the best there is. Lightning from my hands. But so that was definitely a different seeing him and his wife interacting, especially since they had been split up in the Marvel universe for so long, was definitely different too.
Right.
To see them together again, so it's definitely a different take on Doctor Strange compared to what I'd be used to. Instead of these interdimensional threats, it's small stuff like, hey, I'm going to clean up New York. I'm going to help some little girl with dreams. Possessed refrigerator. Oh, sorry, She-Hulk. Those are just bad eggs. But tuning in with Dr. Doom, that was pretty cool seeing that. I look forward to some sort of clash from them in the future. And Black Cat, always a nice addition as well. I've always liked her for the story. And again, like I said, just his home life. Edge of Spider-Verse, shout out to Spider-Saurus Rex. That was a fun story in the Edge of Spider-Verse book. Spider-Rex.
Spider-Rex and Spintress.
I didn't read the Spinstress story. I don't think I have that one. But seeing his ghost dog was pretty cool. He's always a fun addition. There was a little bit of action in here, not a ton. You know, I like a good action-packed book. A lot of talking heads here building to something. The action was good, and the talking heads were actually important talking. Not like X-Men where they're just talking to talk. I know Johnny doesn't like when I say that. But that's just how I see it. They got the quiet council, and they all just sit there talking. So this is actually important talking. There's threats being thrown out. There's refugees being saved from a lifetime of slavery.
So in a lot of sense, would you have hated the scene from Sherlock Holmes' Game of Shadows, where it goes from them playing the game to them just calling out their moves on the chess game near the end of the movie?
I gotta go back and rewatch that movie. It was a good movie.
Yeah. But like in a lot of sense, it's just them talking the entire time. Like they're talking about what's going on, but at the same time, all of a sudden they talk their move instead of doing it on the board because, well, that's just the menacing walking they're doing around a big circle.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, She-Hulk tuning in at the end, talking to Doctor Strange. I always like She-Hulk. Groot #1. Long before Groot fall, then Groot might be free soldier and then Marvel. I'm looking forward to that Groot Fall stuff. I normally don't read Guardians of the Galaxy, but I will be picking up some Groot and some Guardians. Then at the end of this book, you see probably the biggest action sequence of the whole thing.
Skook.
Skook. Agumon is dead.
And then you don't find out about it until the second story.
Yeah, but actually that's kind of a good idea. It helps tie it all together.
Right?
Like, look, these guys actually matter, and this isn't just a backup story for no reason.
Right. Well, it kind of makes you out since it says it's freak out kind of thing. I wonder if that means that is this going to have its like own little like one shot kind of thing, or are they going to actually do like a series on the new Agents of Wand like we saw in the story?
Yeah, if Agents of Wand will continue, or it could just be backup story in every. You see DC doing it right now in their Batman book. I want to say Action was doing it.
Sure.
Detective is doing it. A lot of those bigger titles that they do sell, they've been putting this backup story in it and raising it $1. And I've heard from sources on YouTube. I listened to a couple of YouTubers who talk to people who work within DC and Marvel and the other publishing companies, and a lot of companies are talking about a price jump.
Sure.
A lot of people are speculating that we could be spending $5 a book instead of $4 a book at the end of the year.
Oh.
So I don't believe that all books are probably going to go to that, because who wants to pay $5 for Aquaman issue 3 of 5 or something? You know,
right?
You already don't get enough people reading those smaller subseries. I don't think you can have anybody if you jack your price up another $1.
Right.
But
so, go ahead.
Could be how they're balancing, because you saw Batman already jumped.
Sure.
Batman's already gone up to a $5 book instead of a $4 book, but they added that backstory. So I don't know if that's their
way of figuring things out.
Yeah, their way of evening it out there. I can't think of it. Anyways, you know what I mean.
Right.
That's how they justify. There's your word.
Right.
That's how they can justify. Like, look, you get 2 stories, even if the second one isn't as good.
Right. So I know how you said like you do voices in the head. Like just to give an example of what the voice were going through my head, specifically with like this story, you have the regular Wong. The voice that was in my head was Wong from the MCU, but at the same time, for some odd reason, Pandora was MJ from the MCU. And then the irony is Dr. Z was actually the voice of the guy from Tangled, the drunk like little guy that's like, what's the password?
Flying a mobile consciousness altering device. It's time to freak Birmingham out.
So yeah, I guess I kind of do that too with some of the things. And yeah, with the way that it's drawn, it's kind of hard for me to put Benedict Cumberbatch's voice with him, but it's not like it's going to be wrong if you try to put that voice in there.
Yeah, I just read different voice. The voices in my head I can't explain. There's just voices in my head, and they do things, and they're people.
I'm sure some doctors could figure out those voices in your head, but
I don't trust doctors, man. You know that. Don't trust doctors. Don't trust nurses. Don't trust anybody who makes more money than I do. To that point, I mean, they know things I don't know. They're poking me and prodding me with knives and scalpels, which are the same thing.
Right.
And tweezers and sucky things that stuck in your cheeks to suck water out of your mouth.
Sure. I'll let you get back to your review.
I'm broken, guys. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. But Agents of Wand jumped through. It was a fun story.
Mm-hmm.
And especially seeing towards the end of it that it matters. Like, look, there's Agumon. He's dead. His head's been taken clean off his body. It's actually pretty cool. Normally, these backstories are self-contained, don't matter at all. They don't add anything to the lore of a character. This one actually did. So that's pretty cool. Not the end. We'll see what happens next in Doctor Strange 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, it makes you, just because based on when you read the little sleeping sickness and all that, it makes you wonder if it's going to take on from that point, or if that's just going to be a back end story that we're not going to talk about until like, I wonder if it's going to be like issue 3 or 4, where it's all of a sudden, oh no, we're going to go to this, and then Agumon's dead. How'd that happen?
I'm afraid it's going to be like a backstory for. I mean, it's got to come together eventually, especially with Strange there. So
right.
I don't know if they're going to go a few issues of here's Doctor Strange in his everyday life, and then bam, or if it's always just going to be backup. But you think eventually it's got to tie together.
Right. Like, is it just going to be like you said, backstory where it could be like the Agents of Wand, like investigating it, and then they some other issue down the road bring it to Doctor Strange's.
For all I know, they could be getting a limited. What they should do is split this off to a limited series, have them investigate it, wrap back around 5 issues later. However issues you got to do that limited series 4. Then swing back right into the Doctor Strange line and go, hey, what's going on here?
Sure.
That would be a good way to do it.
Mhm.
How they do it, I guess we'll wait and see. Do we want to do reviews?
So that's what you were in the middle of. That
Yeah.
when I started interrupting you.
Well,
You were saying about the number
stars,
stuff.
Yeah.
Not. I guess for a little bit more talking on the point, it's interesting just the way they did it. Kind of like the whole. This is what happened on Monday. This is what happened on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Just having that. This is what happens every day, and then all of a sudden Saturday, which is kind of odd for those people who usually have the rest day be Sunday, but.
Unless you're Jewish.
Right. True.
Which I don't know, Doctor Strange. If he's religious, maybe he's Jewish, so he has his rest on Saturday.
Maybe that
You
is
never
it.
know.
But yeah, it's just like it's interesting seeing like they have it that way. Yes, it would be interesting to see that with every character, but it would also get kind of redundant after a while.
Well, that's Tom King did that, especially in his Batman Killing Time. Tom King likes to. He must think it's like this really cool mechanic showing time.
Right.
But in Killing Time, they broke it down to the minute and had everything all out of order.
Right.
So you have to literally follow what you're reading really carefully. So seeing how the days map out is cool, but also if you do it wrong, like Tom King did in that book, super confusing.
Right.
The art was on point. I liked the art, but I didn't pick it up after issue 1 because it was so confusing.
Right. And then interesting that they brought in so many different characters, like you said earlier, with Doctor Doom, Black Cat, Spider-Man, Luke Cage. It's interesting just seeing Luke Cage for how nonchalant of a character that he was, where he didn't do anything except for stuff for himself, and then now he's the mayor, so he has all of these people he has to look after.
Which I want to say that's a shout back to Devil's Reign. I think that's when he became mayor. I didn't read that story either. I need to.
But then the refugee thing, that was interesting as well. And then it's interesting when it's like, we're sending these refugees. It's like it kind of has that nowadays kind of reference to it, not saying, hey, these are illegals and we're sending them off to a new place because we don't want them here, kind of thing. But it is at the same time because we're sending these refugees to a place where they're even more in danger because they're now slaves in this opposite world. So it's kind of good in this way where it's a light implementation of current world things that are happening because it doesn't overpower it.
Yep. Kind of thing. You got to find the balance, especially if you want to put current world issues and current politics and messages, because some of these writers, they like to fill their books full of politics. And whatever their view is, that's what your book's going to be about, whether it be left or right. But this one works really well, and it's actually intrinsic to the story, and it is the story, not in a bad way.
Right. And it shows the stereotypical of like husband and wife arguing about the situation, and then all of a sudden at the end of the argument, then it's like the guy's like, well, I thought I was right in my way. Yeah, you're right in your way that there should have been something that's done, but I believe my way is my way. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, don't give me that look, when the eye of Agamotto is like, I agree with her, kind of thing. And then he's like, fine, I guess I was kind of wrong. Clea, wait, kind of thing. So having that balance of how life is in real life and also having those implementations but not overpowering seems to be a good way to go in this story. So in a lot of sense, I actually really like that about this story. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of action like what you but there was enough to keep you intrigued, especially in the second story of Freak Out. So in a sense, I actually kind of really liked the book just because it was intriguing in its storytelling kind of way. So I guess if you don't mind, I'll go first with the numbers.
If I could throw out one more thing,
sure.
Calling back to Captain Marvel, in the current run was a couple years ago. Do you think they'll bring up Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange?
Oh yeah.
For anybody who's read that Captain Marvel book, you know Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange hooked up for an issue or two and got busy.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful.
After Marvel broke up with Captain America, right?
No, Captain Marvel was dating War Machine.
War Machine, that's what it was.
She had gone to the future, seen that War Machine had a kid who wasn't hers, went back in time, broke up with War Machine. That way he could have that kid
Mm.
because she was such a nice person.
Right.
Ended up hooking up with Doctor Strange because she wants to learn about magic. And Doctor Strange told her, "Yeah, I'm not teaching you magic. You're already too powerful. You can't
Right.
control it." So she goes to Enchantress to learn magic instead.
Sure.
Spoiler there, but it's a fun read. I enjoyed it, so I recommend picking that up.
But that would be interesting if they brought her into this as well. Then.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah,
butting heads and awkwardness, like, oh hey, this is my wife. Probably didn't know about her a couple of years ago. Yeah.
But not to keep you guys waiting all night for our ratings, I guess I'll go first. In my opinion, I actually thought that from cover to cover, good art, good story, like I said, good implementation of different real life instances. Yes, lacking of action and stuff like that did also affect my opinion or grade, I should say. So in a lot of sense, I would probably grade it a 3.5 stars out of 5. Just because, as I said, I liked all of the implementation of the story, but the lack of action kept it from being that 4 or 4.5, in my opinion. So
I'm probably going to agree with Casey on that one, too. It's a great starting point for Doctor Strange, but if you didn't read his death or any of Strange, you don't know who these characters are. You know, I mean, you might from previous stuff that has been around for a while. Agamot's been around for a while, but they're referencing his death. They're referencing the Warlord of Manhattan. I don't know when all that came into play. So it's a good jumping on point because Doctor Strange is back. He's doing things, but you don't understand back stuff without reading back stuff. It's not a clean entry.
Sure.
It's not just Doctor Strange doing things. It's, hey, Doctor Strange, we're calling back to a year ago when he died. But it was a fun read. The art was pretty good for what we had there. The artist did a good job. Definitely. He did a really good job of it for what, I mean, it fits the story.
Yeah.
It's not my style of art, but it fits the story, so it worked. The second story was great. There was that action aspect that I enjoyed as well. The hallucinations and stuff. There's some trippy colors. It was pretty cool. Felt like a hippie didn't leave the 60s and just became a supervillain.
Right. Well, and I guess the one intriguing part about that was the fact that how he just was like, he was offered a job to join the good side, and it's like, sure, I'll take it.
I mean, you gotta have money to fund your evil schemes somehow.
I guess, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can work with you guys for a little bit. I just watched the episode of Simpsons where Mr. Burns becomes a good guy and helps recycle so he can get his money back.
And just looking at him in this little panel here is just the way he's just like, I make this thing. Just his overall look is just like, I make this thing look good. Anyway, continue here.
I would probably agree with you on a 3.5 out of 5. It was fun. It was entertaining. Whether or not I come back for issue 2, we'll wait and see what my week looks like, if I have room to spend for issue 2, because I got a lot in my box already I need to purchase. Cover-wise was a fun cover. I got the Alex Ross cover. This one is not, but again, like I said, these are the only 2 copies we have left, so we can always order more. We can try ordering more, see if they're available.
I was partial to the Infinity Saga cover myself, which is why I'm happy that you actually put that in my box. It was still there. So
the Infinity Saga cover was a really cool cover.
For those of you who don't know, Marvel over the last couple of years has been making special covers that implement every phase from the first 3 phases of the Infinity Saga, which is only 3 phases. So
that's the only 3 phases. We're kind of entering a multiverse saga. If we're going to call it that or not.
But yeah, so they had phase 1, 9 different covers. Phase 2, I think same thing, 9 different covers, and then now they're in the phase 3, 9 different covers. So I believe the Doctor Strange one is cover 5 of 9. So they're about halfway done of their you're a phase of the Infinity. I am a phase of the Infinity Saga. No, you are right.
No, he is the Infinity Saga.
All
his covers are featuring Casey. I'm Dr. Strange.
Anyway, so overall good story. You guys should come get it if you're interested in Doctor Strange, and then getting that continuity from Strange, and then also the death of Doctor Strange, and finding out how he died, how he was brought back, and stuff like that. I haven't actually personally read those as well, like Trevor hasn't, but I actually have a small understanding of the stories that he was going to be brought back. So,
Yep, we have Death of Doctor Strange trades on the wall, if I remember right, and I do still have all the Strange issues in our gray shelves. They haven't been back issued yet, so stop on in and grab those. I'll probably give them a couple more weeks before I back issue them, but
sure.
It's coming due. They're starting to hit the I don't want to say expiration date, but time to start shuffling some stuff around and make room for some new stuff. But I'll give them a couple more weeks. So come grab those. They're still at cover price. So nothing to, don't worry about that.
Is there anything we want to talk about before we close the show?
There is actually.
Okay.
I am very happy and excited to announce that we now have a Pokemon box break going on.
Oh.
There will be 3 Silver Tempest Build and Battle Stadiums. That is a total of 36 packs. I can't get booster boxes in anymore through our distributors. So that's the only way I can offer packs to you guys for box break. They'll still be a lot of fun. There'll still be 36 packs. Our spots in it are $20 a spot.
How many spots are there?
There will be 10 spots.
Okay.
I am limiting it to 1 per person for now, just so that we get a chance for everybody to get a spot. The spots will be broken down by type, with a couple of types doubling up because there aren't enough cards in the set to warrant having each type having their own. So I want to say Electric and Dragon was doubled up, and then the code cards and I don't think it was Psychic. It might have been Steel. I'd have to look at my notes again, but a couple of them are doubled up. So come check that out. Like I said, 10 slots, so grab them while you can. No grabbers as of yet, so hopefully we start seeing some people filling up. Because I'm looking forward to doing this box break. It'll be a lot of fun.
All right.
Massive restocks out in the back issues, so come check that out. We've had a lot of stuff going out. Incredible Hulk, X-Men, Spider-Man, Strange Tales. Well, most of that might be behind the counter for Strange Tales. Batman. I want to say Thor got hit a little bit. I don't remember. We've had a lot of back issue restocks, so come check that out. And we have a lot of silver stuff out now. We've been processing a really big collection of older vintage books. Some of the Silver Age stuff, your X-Men, your Spider-Man, your Strange Tales. I want to say Thor might be in there. Incredible Hulk is. I got the opportunity to actually hold a first appearance of Wolverine, Incredible Hulk 181. Never actually held a original copy. Like, this is the OG thing. It was really cool. I was very happy to be able to do that. I was freaking out. Don't have the money to buy it, so somebody else purchased it. But just being able to hold it, it's a piece of history.
Right.
It's a piece of comic book history, so that was really cool. So come check out all that restock. Any update on our box breaks?
We have sold a few more spots in I believe one of our football box breaks, so that's getting closer to being closed. We still have both of them open, both the football ones and the baseball one. Hopefully we'll get the baseball one here soon. Just so those of you that are excited about the new baseball season starting here in April, we'll get some cards to display for when that starts, especially those of you that are huge Mike Trout fans.
Mike Trout!
We're going a little slow. I think our internet's kind of...
Yeah, we're lagging a little bit. I can see that. It wasn't on the screen. Nobody wants to see that. Oh, that should not be the face of Rainbow.
All right. Anyway, other than that, we're still pricing cards. Sam's doing a good job on that. Sam's our new employee, if we haven't mentioned that yet.
Yes, we do have a new face behind the sports counter, and he'll be happy to help you with all your sports needs.
And Trevor's doing a good job getting some more...
There is Johnny calling me out. It literally froze on you doing the Mike Trout arms, Trevor. Lol. We're laughing here too, John.
Yep. But yeah, Trevor's doing a really good job getting some more Pokemon cards priced, and also Yu-Gi-Oh as well. I saw that a little bit earlier when I got here. And then also, him, Johnny, and Patrick have been doing, when he's in, have been doing a good job of restocking all the comics as he mentioned about those. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of those Yu-Gi-Oh cards are actually good tournament play ones. Some high dollar stuff. So come check that out there in my showcase, and it's sitting in the trays in the back of it. So come check those out and see what I've got to offer. Mm-hmm. And watch our Facebook page, because Scarlet and Violet comes out next Friday.
Woo-hoo.
There might be a little bit of a Pokemon sale, and I'm not spoiling anything, but it's not one that you've ever had before. There will be some new offerings. So come check that out. You will be able to find a post on it hopefully Thursday when we get it all hammered out. Tuesday or Thursday. I'm going to try aiming for Tuesday, get it out a little bit early.
Yeah, so that way the information gets there and settles in everybody's brains.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, woo, woo.
But I think that wraps it up for us.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thanks for all the comments from Johnny and from, who was the other one? Dan, yes. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us.
Like I always say, if you have a recommendation, lift it up to us Wednesday. We make our final decision Thursday evenings at about 7 o'clock. So you've got deadline of Thursday night, anytime before 8, preferably, to lift those up.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Well, I thought you were going to.
You have a great weekend as well. You too there, Johnny 5.
You too, Johnny. Like I had said at the beginning of the episode, yes. We're not sideways.
I wonder if that means the phone's about to die.
That's a good possibility. We might be losing you. So, we're going to wrap this up real quick. Johnny is not with us anymore doing Saturday Night Spoilers. Currently, he's stepping back to focus on some other streaming and work ventures. So, keep an eye on him to see what he's got coming up. It should be interesting. But he did say he'd come back once in a while as a special guest appearance. So, we are looking forward to that.
Woohoo!
Again, Doctor Strange #1 was our review of the week. If you want to add it to a pull list, throw in your box, let us know. Hit us up through Messenger or give us a call. Remaining 2 copies are sitting in front of us right now. We're going to go drop them on the shelves when we're done here. Thank you all for joining us. Have a safe and wonderful evening, and we'll see you again next time you're in.
Mike Trout.